There is a bottle in your bathroom right now that could kill your cat before you finish watching this video. Not in a week, not in a slow, quiet decline you'd have time to notice and fix. In hours. And here is the part that keeps veterinarians awake at night. It wouldn't be given by a cruel person. It would be given by someone who loves that cat more than almost anything in the world. Someone who saw their cat limping or trembling or burning with what looked like a fever and thought, I have something for that. I take it myself. I'll just give a little, a tiny piece. A cat is small, so surely a small dose is safe. That single thought, that gentle, loving, reasonable thought, has ended more feline lives than almost anything else that comes through an emergency clinic door. And the cruelest part is how ordinary the weapon is. It's not poison hidden under the sink. It's the medicine cabinet you open every single morning. It's the pill you'd swallow without a second thought. To you, it's relief. To your cat, it is a chemical their body was never built to survive. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why the human medicine cabinet is one of the deadliest places in your home for a cat. You'll learn which specific medicines destroy them from the inside, and why cats, more than dogs, more than almost any pet you could own, are uniquely defenseless against them. You'll learn the two traps that fool the most careful, loving owners. And you'll learn the exact signs of medication poisoning. Signs so specific that if you ever see them, you'll know instantly what happened and what to do in the narrow window that's left. Stay with me because there's one detail near the end, one thing you can grab in 10 seconds during an emergency that changes whether your veterinarian can save your cat or only watch them fade. Most owners never think of it until it's too late. Let me tell you about a cat named Oliver. A gray tabby, 7 years old, the kind of cat who slept on his owner's chest every night. One evening, his owner noticed him favoring a back leg, moving slower, hiding under the bed, which he never did. She was certain he was in pain, and she had a bottle of pain reliever in the kitchen, the same kind she'd take for a headache or a sore back. She thought about it. She loved him. She broke off what looked like a reasonable piece for a small body, and with some effort, got it into him. She went to bed feeling like a good caretaker, like she'd helped. By morning, Oliver wouldn't lift his head. His breathing had changed, gone rapid and shallow, and when she pulled back his lip to look, his gums, which should have been a healthy pink, were the color of wet mud. A strange, sick, brownish stain. She didn't know it yet, but that color was the sign of red blood cells being destroyed faster than his body could replace them. The medicine she gave out of love was suffocating him from the inside, cell by cell. She rushed him to the clinic. It was too late by hours, not by days, by hours. That's the pace we're talking about. And what haunts the people who work in emergency clinics is how many Olivers there are. How the story repeats, almost word for word, in different homes, with different cats, with owners who would each have sworn they were careful, they were loving, they were doing the right thing. The gray tabby, the orange one, the black cat, the kitten. Different faces, the same ending, the same terrible sentence at the center of it. I only gave a little. I thought it would help. And every time the veterinarian has to stand in that room and explain that the little bit was never the problem, that there was no amount that would have been safe, that the very act of giving it was the thing that could not be taken back. To understand why it moves that fast, and why no small dose is ever a safe dose, you have to understand something about the inside of a cat that makes them fundamentally different from you, from your dog, from almost every creature you share your home with. It's a difference you can't see. It's written in their biology, silent and invisible, and absolutely decisive. Your liver is a chemical factory. Every drug you swallow, every painkiller, every cold pill gets sent to the liver, where a set of enzymes grabs onto it, breaks it down, wraps it up in a form your body can safely flush out through your kidneys. One of the most important of those enzymes is something called glucuronol transferase. Say it however you like, what matters is what it does. It takes toxic byproducts and neutralizes them, tags them for removal, escorts them out. In a healthy human, this happens thousands of times a day without you ever noticing. Cats are missing it, or nearly so. Through millions of years of evolution as pure carnivores, animals whose diet was meat and only meat, cats lost most of their ability to produce this enzyme. They simply never needed it. Their natural food didn't contain the plant compounds and chemical complexity that this enzyme evolved to handle. So evolution, ever efficient, let it fade. Which means that when a drug enters a cat, a drug your liver would shrug off, the cat's liver reaches for the tool it needs and the tool isn't there. The toxin doesn't get neutralized. It doesn't get wrapped up and flushed out. It stays. It builds. It circulates through the bloodstream again and again, hunting for tissue to damage. And it finds it. The red blood cells, the liver itself, the kidneys. There's no break. There's no cleanup crew. There is just the poison and the cat and time running out. Picture it this way. Imagine a factory with a conveyor belt, and along that belt stand the workers whose only job is to catch each dangerous package as it passes, wrap it safely, and drop it down a chute to be carried away. In your body, that line is fully staffed. Package after package gets caught, wrapped, removed. Nothing dangerous ever piles up. Now picture the same factory inside a cat, and picture that most of the workers simply aren't there. The belt still runs. The dangerous packages still come. But there's almost no one to catch them, so they ride the belt in a loop, around and around, spilling their contents into everything they pass, and the pile grows and grows, and there is no chute, no exit, no end. That loop is what's happening inside a poisoned cat. The drug your factory would have cleared in an hour rides forever, doing damage on every single pass. This is the single most important thing to understand tonight. It isn't that human medicine is a little too strong for a cat. It's that a cat's body cannot process it at all. The dose that helps you is not a big dose to them. It is an unsurvivable dose, because they have no way to get rid of it. And this is exactly why cutting a pill in half doesn't save them. A smaller package still has no worker to catch it. It still rides the loop. It still does its damage. You haven't made the danger smaller. You've only made it feel smaller to you. Now let me name the specific culprits, because vague warnings save no lives. Specific ones do. The first and most infamous is acetaminophen. You know it by its brand names, the pain and fever reliever in nearly every medicine cabinet on Earth. The one people reach for first, the one that seems so gentle it's given to human children. For a cat, it is one of the most lethal substances they can encounter. A single regular-strength tablet can kill an adult cat. Not a bottle. 1. It attacks on two fronts at once. It destroys the red blood cell's ability to carry oxygen, turning that healthy red blood a sick chocolate-brown color and starving every organ of the oxygen it needs to live. And at the same time, it ravages the liver, the very organ that's supposed to be defending against it. A cat poisoned this way is being suffocated and having their liver dissolved simultaneously. And it happens fast. This is the one that took Oliver. The second family is the one people reach for when something looks like pain or swelling. The anti-inflammatory pain relievers, the ones marketed for aches, fevers, muscle soreness, the ones so common they're in gym bags and desk drawers and kitchen cabinets in every home. In a cat, these attack the kidneys with terrifying speed, shutting down the organs that filter the blood, and they burn holes in the stomach and intestinal lining, causing internal bleeding. A cat can go from seeming a little off to being in full kidney failure in a single day on a dose that wouldn't touch a human. And once a cat's kidneys are gone, they don't come back. Then there's aspirin, which people often think of as the mild, old-fashioned, harmless one. In cats, it is anything but. Because their bodies can't clear it, aspirin accumulates to toxic levels from doses that would be trivial in a person, causing bleeding, breathing distress, and organ damage. There are rare situations where a veterinarian will prescribe a very precise, tiny, carefully calculated amount of aspirin for a specific feline condition. And I want you to hear that clearly. That is a veterinarian, with a scale, with blood work, with the exact weight of your cat, making a medical decision. It is worlds away from an owner guessing at a piece of a pill in their kitchen. Never make that decision yourself. Never. And it keeps going. Antidepressants and anxiety medications, the kind millions of people take daily, are intensely toxic to cats and cause tremors, dangerously high body temperature, seizures. Cats are strangely, almost eerily drawn to certain of these pills. Some will actively seek out a dropped tablet. Cold and flu medicines are a hidden trap because they're combinations, often containing acetaminophen plus decongestants, plus other compounds. A cocktail of things, each of which is separately dangerous to a cat. Decongestants alone can send a cat's heart racing and their blood pressure through the roof. And here is one almost nobody thinks about: topical creams. The pain relief rubs, the medicated ointments, the muscle creams, even certain hormone creams a person might apply to their own skin. A cat doesn't have to be given these. They only have to brush against your treated skin, or sleep on the pillow where it rubbed off, and then do the most natural thing a cat does in the world: groom. Lick their fur clean. And in that grooming, they swallow the medicine directly. Cats have been poisoned by a cream their owner never even knew touched them. That devotion to cleanliness, that beautiful compulsion to stay spotless, becomes the delivery system for the poison. Think of how many times a day your cat presses against you, the rub of a cheek against your hand, curling into the crook of your arm at night, kneading your shoulder while you read. Every one of those tender moments is also a moment of transfer if there's medication on your skin, and every grooming session afterward becomes a swallow. There are cats who have been poisoned not by anything anyone did to them, but simply by loving their person and keeping themselves clean. The two most feline things in the world, done back to back, ending in a chemical their body had no way to survive. It's a reminder of how quiet this danger is. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't require a mistake as obvious as offering a pill. It can ride in on affection itself. So that's the arsenal. And now I have to talk about the two traps, because knowing the danger isn't enough if you don't see how good people walk into it anyway. The first trap is the math of the small body. It feels so logical. A person is large and takes a whole pill. A cat is tiny, a fraction of the weight, so surely a fraction of the pill is proportionally safe. Half, a quarter, a little crumbled corner. This reasoning feels like caution. It feels responsible. And it is completely, fatally wrong, because it assumes the cat's body works like a smaller version of yours. It doesn't. The problem was never the size of the dose. The problem is that the cat cannot process the drug at all. You are not giving them a small amount of something manageable. You are giving them an amount of something they have no defense against, and their body has no way to make it smaller, or safer, or gone. The scaling logic that governs your world simply does not apply inside theirs. A crumb is not a safe version of the pill. There is no safe version. The second trap is deeper and sadder, and it's the one I most want you to carry with you. It is the trap of medicating out of love. Your cat is limping. Your cat feels hot or trembles or seems to hurt, and you cannot stand it. Every instinct you have as someone who loves an animal screams to relieve that suffering right now, tonight, with whatever you have. And what you have is in the cabinet. The very depth of your love becomes the pressure that pushes you toward the mistake. The kinder your heart, the harder this trap pulls. And I need you to understand that stopping your hand in that moment, refusing to give the pill, and instead getting to a professional, is not the cold choice. It is the loving one. It is the choice that keeps them alive. The urge to help is right. The method is what kills. Redirect that urge toward the phone, toward the clinic, toward the one person actually equipped to help, and never toward the medicine cabinet. Now, the signs. Because sometimes the poisoning has already happened. Maybe a pill was dropped and swallowed before you could stop it. Maybe a cream was licked. And your ability to read the specific signals of medication poisoning is the difference between acting and missing it entirely. Watch the gums. Healthy feline gums are a clean, moist pink. In medication poisoning, especially from acetaminophen, the gums turn a muddy, dirty brown, sometimes with a bluish or grayish tint. That brown is the visible sign that the blood itself has been chemically altered and can no longer carry oxygen properly. If you ever lift your cat's lip and see mud where there should be pink, you are looking at an emergency measured in minutes. Watch for swelling. A hallmark of acetaminophen poisoning in cats is a strange, puffy swelling of the face, and often the paws. The face may look bloated, distorted, wrong in a way that's hard to describe but impossible to miss once you've seen it. Paired with the brown gums, this is nearly a signature. Watch the blood if you ever see any. Vomit that's dark, urine that's discolored, any bleeding that comes out an odd chocolate or coffee color rather than bright red. All of it points to red blood cells being destroyed and the byproducts flooding the system. It is one of the most sinister signs there is, because that wrong color is the poison writing its name. And watch the whole animal. Sudden weakness, rapid or labored breathing, drooling, vomiting, a wobbly, unsteady walk, collapse, tremors, or a cat who suddenly hides and won't come out, all against a backdrop of any possible access to medication, should send you straight to help. You know your cat's normal. Trust the moment your gut says this is not it. So what do you actually do? Here is where I have to be very specific, because with medication poisoning, the details are everything, And there are things unique to this situation that generic advice will never tell you. You already know the foundation of any feline emergency from the plan we walked through together in another video. The one where we covered why you never try home remedies and never make a cat vomit on your own guesswork, why you gather your information calmly, and why you keep your emergency numbers ready before you ever need them. That framework holds here too, and I'm not going to reteach it tonight. What I want to give you instead are the moves that belong to medication poisoning, and nothing else. The ones that make a veterinarian's job possible. First, and this is the 10-second thing I promised you, bring the bottle. The actual container. Do not just tell them, over the phone or at the desk, some blur of, I think it was a pain pill, I'm not sure which one. Grab the physical bottle, or the blister pack, or the tube of cream, and take it with you. Because to a veterinarian, the difference between one active ingredient and another is the difference between two entirely separate treatments. Acetaminophen has a specific antidote that must be given fast. The anti-inflammatory painkillers do not respond to that antidote at all and require a completely different approach for the kidneys. If your veterinarian knows exactly which drug it was, they can move instantly and correctly. If they have to guess, they lose time your cat does not have. That bottle in your hand is, quite literally, a map to the treatment. Second, know the strength and the amount. Read it off the label. Is it a regular strength or an extra strength tablet? How many milligrams? How many pills or how much of the pill is missing? Gone, unaccounted for. Even your best estimate of how much your cat may have gotten changes everything about how aggressively they treat. Third, and people never realize how much this matters, know the timing. When did it happen? Or when could it possibly have happened at the latest? The clock that starts the moment a cat swallows a toxin governs the entire treatment plan. There are things a veterinarian can do in the first window after ingestion that become impossible later, and treatments that shift depending on whether it's been 30 minutes or 6 hours. If you saw it happen, tell them the exact time. If you didn't, tell them the last moment you know the cat was fine, and the first moment you knew something was wrong, so they can narrow the window. Timing isn't a small detail. It is one of the biggest levers they have. And notice what these three things have in common: the bottle, the strength, the timing. None of them require you to be a medical expert. None of them require you to do anything to the cat at all. They just require you to stay clear-headed enough to gather 3 pieces of information and get to help fast. That is your entire job in that moment, and it is enough. The heroics belong to the professional. The information belongs to you. I'm going to leave the foods, the plants, the milk, all the other dangers where they belong, in the videos where we gave them the full attention they deserve, because the medicine cabinet needs all of tonight's focus to itself. It's earned it. It hides in plain sight, in the one room you'd never think of as dangerous, behind the everyday act of caring for someone who hurts. Let me bring you back to Oliver, the gray tabby who slept on his owner's chest. Because his story isn't told to break your heart. It's told so his loss can protect the cat sleeping near you right now. His owner didn't fail him because she didn't care. She failed him because she cared enormously and reached for the wrong thing in the dark. She trusted that what was safe in her body would be gentle in his. And the terrible lesson buried in his story is the very thing this whole video exists to give you before you ever need it. A cat's body is not a smaller version of yours. What heals you can dissolve them. What soothes your pain can suffocate theirs. And the loving hand, the hand that wants only to help, is the one that has to learn to stop. So here is what I want you to do tonight. Not tomorrow, tonight. Go to your medicine cabinet, your kitchen drawer, your bag, your bedside table, wherever the pills and the creams live in your home. Look at where they sit. Ask yourself one question. Could my cat ever get to this? A pill that rolls off a counter. A cap not fully closed. A cream on your skin that a grooming tongue could find. And then close it, move it, seal it, put it somewhere a curious, clever, devoted little creature can never reach. It takes 2 minutes. It could be the 2 minutes that means Oliver's story never becomes yours. Because the danger was never that you'd stop loving your cat. The danger is that you love them, and in a frightened moment, you'd reach for the one thing that feels like help and is actually the end. Now you know. Now your hand knows where to go instead. Go check that cabinet tonight before you sleep, and make sure the thing that could kill in hours can never, ever reach the one you'd give anything to protect.